Before starting network theorems, uh, we will study some property of ideal voltage source and ideal current source. First, I am taking ideal voltage source. Suppose this is a voltage source of 10 volt, and if it is ideal voltage source, then the potential difference between this positive and negative will always be 10 volt. While applying KVL, if we move from this negative plate to positive plate, these are not the negative and positive terminals, we will just say the potential difference between this plate and this plate is 10 volt. If we are moving in this direction, the potential drop will be 10 volt. And if this is ideal voltage source, it does not matter how much current it is supplying. It does not matter how much current it is supplying. The difference between the two terminal will always be of 10 volt. If it is ideal voltage source, it may supply any amount of current. It depends upon the load resistance. If resistance is of 1 ohm, it may supply 10 ampere. If resistance is equal to 10 kilo ohm, it will supply current will be 1 milliampere. But in all case, the voltage across the two terminal will always be 10 volt. This is only in case of ideal voltage source. If this is a practical voltage source, if it is supplying more current, its voltage will drop. That is only for practical voltage source, that we do not have to study. In most of the cases, we will be studying ideal voltage source. Similarly, if we talk about ideal current source, in case of voltage source, the voltage is fixed and current supplied by this source depends upon the load resistance. Similarly, in case of ideal current source, suppose it is a current source of 2 ampere. In any case, it does not matter how much resistance is connected here, it will always supply 2 ampere current. And like the current through the voltage source is not fixed, it depends upon the resistance, the equivalent resistance connected to the voltage source. If there are more resistance or more impedances, in that case we say that the source current is equal to, the magnitude of source current is equal to Vs divided by modulus of impedance, the equivalent impedance that is connected across the voltage terminal. Similarly, in case of current source, the current supplied by source is fixed, but the voltage across the current source depends upon the load resistance. Suppose this resistance is of 10 ohm, it will supply current of 2 ampere. So the voltage across this resistance is 20 volt. Now suppose the voltage across current source is Vs, and if we apply KVL, then here we will have gain of Vs and here we have drop of minus 20, this is equal to 0. So the voltage across the ideal current source is 20 volt. If instead of this 10 ohm, if I connect 100 ohm, since this is the ideal current source, it will again supply 2 ampere. Now the voltage across this resistance is 200 volt, and now if we apply KVL, we will get voltage across the current source as 200 volt. So now if we connect one more resistance of 100 ohm, now this 2 ampere, since the voltage across both the resistances are same, this 2 ampere will get divided into two parts, 1 ampere and 1 ampere. Now the voltage across it is 100 volt, so the voltage across current source is 100 volt. So the voltage across current source depends upon the equivalent resistance that is connected across, or that is connected across the current source. So in case of ideal voltage source, voltage across source is fixed and the amount of current which is supplied by the ideal voltage source depends upon the equivalent resistance connected across it, and in case of current source, the current supplied by source is fixed and the voltage across its terminal depend upon the equivalent resistance that is connected across it. this is the confusion for many students, that if it is a ideal current source, then the voltage across this will be 0. So that is wrong. If it is an ideal current source, it may have voltage drop that depend upon the equivalent resistance, and that is very clear through this circuit diagram. So in network theorems, first we are going to study Thevenin theorem. Before starting Thevenin theorem, let us solve an easy numerical. Suppose this is a voltage source, this is a 20 volt voltage source, this is 2 ohm, this is 3 ohm, this is 5 ohm, and this is 25 ohm. And we are asked to find out current through this 25 ohm resistance. So we will solve it by, we will take parallel combination of 5 and 25. Parallel combination of 5 and 25 is not 5 and 25, 5 and 20. The parallel combination of 5 and 20 is 4 ohm. Suppose this is 30 volt. So this is 4 and 2, 6. So the source will supply the current supplied by source is equal to 30 divided by 6, 5 ampere. So this will supply 5 ampere current, and 5 ampere will get divided into 5 ohm and 20 ohm. Since this is 4 times higher resistance, so the current absorbed by this or current through it will be 4 times lesser than the current in 5 ohm branch. So from here 4 ampere current will flow, and from here 1 ampere current will be flow. So this way we calculated the current through this 20 ohm resistance. Now the whole circuit, this much part of circuit is fixed and load resistance is varied. Now again we have to calculate the current in this 1 ohm branch. Please notice that except this resistance, the whole circuit is fixed. There is no change in the circuit. But to find out current in this branch, you will have to solve the whole circuit again. You will take the parallel combination of 5 and 1, then again you will find out the current through this source, and again there will be a current division between this 1 ohm and 5 ohm resistance. Now you calculated it. Now again the load resistance has been changed. It is changed to 2 ohm. So you have to solve the whole circuit as many times as the load resistance is changed. This is very common practical situation, that a bigger part of circuit is fixed, and depending upon the requirement, practical requirement, the load resistance is being changed, and at each time you have to calculate the current through the load resistance. And if you solve this circuit by conventional method, at each time you will have to solve the whole circuit. So to save the hard work, Thevenin proposed circuit solving technique that is called Thevenin theorem. Now we will study Thevenin theorem, and with the help of Thevenin theorem we will see that if the load resistance is changed, leaving a bigger part of circuit unchanged, the calculation of current through the load resistance is very easy. So we will use the same example. This is 30 volt, 2 ohm, 5 ohm, and this is RL. Suppose this point is A, this point is B. According to Thevenin theorem, this circuit can be transformed into a new circuit. Suppose we are transforming this circuit about point A and B. and we are applying the transformation left to the point of A and B. So Thevenin proposed that this circuit can be transformed into a new circuit consisting of voltage source VTH, a resistance RTH, both are connected in series, and here we have terminal A and B, and here we can connect the varying resistance RL. Now, if in this circuit we want to calculate the current in the load resistance, the IL can be written as VTH divided by RTH plus RL. Now you keep changing the load resistance, the current can be calculated very easily, but transforming this circuit into this circuit it means that whether you calculate the amount of current through RL from this circuit or this circuit, the amount of current must be same. So to solve such circuit, Thevenin proposed a technique where this circuit can be represented as an equivalent circuit which consists VTH, a voltage source connected in series with a resistance. This is Thevenin equivalent voltage, Thevenin equivalent resistance, and if we are transforming about point A and B, then this point is A and this point is B, and now here we can connect the varying load resistance RL, where VTH is open circuit voltage across the load resistance or open circuit voltage about the terminal this will be better to write open circuit voltage about the terminal open circuit voltage of the terminal about which Thevenin equivalent circuit is to be obtained, and RTH is equal to Thevenin equivalent resistance, and this is, and how RTH is obtained. To obtain RTH, I have made a separate video lecture and I have uploaded it. So this you already know how to obtain RTH. This is called Thevenin equivalent resistance. So if we want to transform this, if we want to get Thevenin equivalent circuit for this about terminal A and B, so we will have to, VTH will be open circuit voltage across this terminal. So we will first open circuit it and we will run the remaining circuit. Suppose this is open circuited. Now solving this circuit is very easy. The current will be, or the voltage across VAB open circuit, this is equal to 30 into 5 divided by 5 plus 2. This is 150 by 7 volt. Now if you want to find out RTH about this terminal, RTH is the resistance seen through the terminal A and B. So for calculating RTH, the independent sources are removed. If it is a voltage source, this will be independent voltage sources will be short circuited. This we have already studied in previous lecture. So the RTH is parallel combination of 2 and 5. This will be 10 divided by 7. Now if you are changing load resistance only, this circuit, the remaining part of circuit will always be same. So VAB open circuited and RTH is always same. So once you have calculated it, you don't have to calculate it again and again. So VTH is 150 divided by 7 volt and RTH is equal to 10 divided by 7 volt. Now you keep changing the load resistance. Now if load resistance is changed again and again, and if you are calculating through this circuit, you will have to solve the whole circuit. The circuit may be even bigger, but if you are transforming and if you are solving this circuit with the help of Thevenin equivalent circuit, you just have to write this formula. Thevenin equivalent voltage is 150 by 7 divided by RTH is 10 by 7 plus load resistance. So keep changing it and keep calculating the load resistance through load current through the load resistance. If the circuit is very complex, then the use of Thevenin equivalent circuit is very much justified. There is a circuit which consists several resistances, a voltage source, a current source, and this is a load resistance. The value of, there are 8 resistance or maybe even more than 8 resistances, and the values of resistances are not given. The voltage source, the value of voltage source and the current source are not given. There are 2 situations are given. If load resistance is 20 ohm, the load current is 2 ampere. If load resistance is 15 ohm, the load current is 2.5 ampere. Now if the load terminal is short circuited, then what will be the short circuit current? Now if we try to solve this circuit by conventional method, it looks like it is impossible to solve because no resistance, no voltage, no current source is given. Now we are changing load resistance here. So if we apply Thevenin theorem about this terminal, about terminal A and B, I will say that I am applying Thevenin theorem left to the terminal A and B. So left to the terminal, I am not applying, I am not transforming this circuit right to the terminal A and B. So the right to the terminal A and B will be as it is. Even in the new circuit, the terminal right to the circuit right to terminal A and B will be as it is. So first drawing the terminal, which is the circuit which is right to the terminal A and B. Now there will be a transformed circuit which will be left to the terminal A and B, and that transformed circuit will consist a single voltage source and a Thevenin equivalent resistance, and how the Thevenin equivalent voltage will be open circuited voltage. If we will open circuit it, that will be open circuited voltage across terminal A and B, and RTH will be the resistance seen by this terminal. So this will contain a voltage source VTH and this is the Thevenin equivalent circuit of this bigger circuit. Equivalence means if we try to find out the value of current using this circuit, the amount of current must be same if we try to solve or if we try to find out the value of current using this circuit. So we will not calculate VTH from this circuit. It does not matter from which circuit we are calculating the current. This circuit looks like this is simple circuit. So, we will say that the load current, this is equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL. Now, in the first situation load current is 2 ampere. So, we will write that 2 ampere is equal to VTH is unknown, we do not know because here all the values are unknown. So, VTH will be unknown, VTH, RTH is also unknown, but RL is given, RL is 20 ohm. So, this is first equation. In the second situation the load current is given as 2.5 ampere. This is equal to, I am using the same VTH because only this resistance was changed. I am applying Thevenin equivalent theorem left to the point of A and B. There was a change which occurred right to the point of A and B. The whole circuit is remained unchanged left to the point A and B. So, the VTH and RTH will not change. If this resistance was changed and now you are applying, now you are making Thevenin equivalent circuit left to the point of terminal A and B. Now, R4 has been changed. So, you cannot use the same VTH and RTH. So, you have to take equivalent circuit about the terminal where the change is being made. So, I am using the same VTH and RTH plus the new resistance is the new load resistance, the load resistance is being changed, this is 15 ohm. Now, we have two equations and two unknown. So, if we solve it, here we will get VTH is equal to 2 RTH plus 40, and from this equation we will get VTH is equal to 2.5 RTH plus, this will be this will be 22.5. So, 2 RTH, if we subtract it, we will get 0.5 RTH is equal to, this will give us 7, this will be 17.5. This is 37.5, 15 into 2.5, this is 37.5, this will be 2.5, hence RTH is equal to 5 ohm, RTH is 5 ohm, then VTH is equal to 10 plus 40, 50 volt. Now, VTH and RTH is, this is 50 volt and RTH is 5 ohm. Now, if the load resistance is removed or it is short circuited, it means the Thevenin equivalent circuit is same, the load resistance is made, this is short circuited. So, the short circuit current will be VTH divided by RTH. So, this will be 10 ampere. If R is 0, the load current is 10 ampere. So, with the help of Thevenin theorem, we do not have to calculate because it looks like there are many unknowns and we have only two equations. So, if we transform this circuit into Thevenin equivalent circuit, the 8 or 9 or 10 unknowns is transformed into two unknowns, and using two equations we calculated it and the circuit was solved very easily. In the circuit, suppose we need to find out the current through this resistance R. So, I am solving it. This can be solved with the help of nodal analysis also, but I want to show you the use of Thevenin theorem. So I am applying Thevenin theorem. Suppose this is point A, this is point B, or this is point A and this point is B. So I am applying Thevenin theorem about the terminal A and B. Not inside A and B, the outside A and B. So inside A and B the circuit will be same. So first I am drawing R, this point is A, this point is B. Now what will connect A and B? To connect A and B we will have one voltage source, that is called VTH, and resistance RTH, and all are connected in series. Now VTH will be open circuited voltage about terminal A and B. So we will open circuit it. This is VTH. Now I told you that we have to find out open circuit voltage across this terminal. So we will open circuit it and we will run the remaining circuit. Now if you will run the remaining circuit, this voltage source, the two resistances and this voltage source all are connected in series. So and both the voltage sources have same value. So I will be 0, I is equal to 0. If there is no current, there will be no voltage drop across this resistance. So if we find out VTH, the VTH is equal to V, and RTH is parallel combination of, if we try to find out RTH, the voltage sources will be short circuited, this is also short circuited, and if we flow a current from here, the same current will come here, there will be a distribution of current. This is one path, this is another. So R1 and R2 are in parallel. So RTH is equal to R1 parallel R2. So the current through resistance R will be VTH divided by R1 parallel R2 plus resistance R. So this way we can calculate current in the resistance R. Now this is voltage source V, this is also V. Now if you are asked to calculate the current through this resistance R1 using Thevenin equivalent circuit, you will calculate IR, and IR is VTH divided by R1 parallel R2 plus R. And if I ask you to show this current in the circuit, where will it flow? You will say that all the voltage sources, Thevenin equivalent resistance and load resistance, these all three elements are connected in series. So we can show it anywhere. This is IR and this is IR. If I ask you to show the same resistance IR in this circuit, you will say that this current can be shown here in this circuit. Now the question is, may this current be shown here? Is this current IR? The answer is, this current cannot be shown here. This current is not IR, because while applying transformation, if this point is A, this point is also A, because there is no resistance, there is no element between this point and this point. So if this is A, this is also A, this is B. We have applied transformation about point A and B. So, only the elements which are inside point A and B are made the the part of circuit which are inside point A and B are shown here. The rest of the circuit has been removed. This is a completely new circuit. This is completely new and equivalent circuit to this circuit. Equivalence means the circuit, the remaining circuit except the circuit which is inside A and B, the remaining circuit will flow the same current inside A and B, and here also the remaining circuit will flow the same current inside A and B. But this circuit is a completely new circuit. If it is, suppose if I am saying this point is C, so you cannot say this point is C. This is a completely new circuit. So, if IR is flowing here, we cannot say that IR is flowing here. This is wrong. But the part of circuit which is inside A and B is same here. The part of circuit inside A and B is same here. So, if we calculate IR from this circuit and if IR is flowing here, we can show that IR is flowing here. Now, if IR is known, finding out current here is very easy. This voltage is V. You know this voltage drop. The current has already been known here. You know this voltage drop. So, you can calculate voltage drop across this resistance. Then you can calculate the voltage drop across the current through this resistance. So, this here you can be mistaken. So, that is why I solve this example. We will take a similar example. This type of example I will take in source transformation also. Or I am taking the same example with a numerical value, maybe that will be more illustrative. Suppose in this circuit, in 1 ohm resistance, we have to find out the value of current. Now, this current can be calculated by various methods like KVL, KCL, by nodal analysis, but to show the use of Thevenin equivalent circuit and to tell you what can be mistaken, I am solving this current. I am trying to find out this current using Thevenin equivalent circuit. Now, just to solve this current, it is better to transform this circuit about these 2 points to find out, but I am taking the transformation about these 2 points A and B. So, I am taking transformation outside point A and B, and the inside part is node and this is unchanged. So, in the new circuit, this part of circuit, the part of original circuit which is inside point A and B, and inside I am not taking any transformation. So, this part of circuit will be unchanged and this part of circuit will only appear in the Thevenin equivalent circuit. Rest of the circuit will be removed. At the place of rest of the circuit, we will have a Thevenin equivalent circuit, but this part of circuit will appear in the new circuit. So, 2.2 ohm resistance will be here, and in the rest part of circuit there will be VTH and Thevenin equivalent resistance RTH. VTH is open circuit voltage about point A and B. So we will first open circuit it and we will run the remaining circuit and we will try to find out this voltage difference. This is VTH. Now if we will run the remaining circuit, the current is 10 minus 5 divided by 5, current will be 1 ampere in this direction. So there will be 1 volt drop across this 1 ohm resistance. So the VAB will be VAB open circuited, this is equal to 9 volt. So we will connect a 9 volt here, and RTH is, to calculate RTH, the independent voltage sources will be short circuited. This is short circuited, this is also short circuited, and if we try to inject a current I here, there will be a division of current and the potential difference between 1 ohm and 4 ohm is same. So these two resistances are connected in parallel, and the parallel combination of 1 ohm and 4 ohm will be 4 by 5, that is 0.8 ohm. This point is A and this point is B. Now if we try to calculate the 2.2 ohm resistance, that is load resistance, this current will be 9 divided by 0.8 plus 2.2, this is 3 ampere. Now if I ask you to show this 3 ampere current in the circuit, you can show it here also, 3 ampere, you can show it here also. But if I ask you to show this 3 ampere current in this circuit, first I am making the original circuit. This is 10 volt and this is 5 volt and this is 2.2 ohm load resistance. Now this point is A, this point is B. Now if I ask you to show this 3 ampere current in this circuit, you can show it here, because the inside part of A and B is common in both the circuit. So whatever current is flowing here, the same current will flow here also. But in RTH 3 ampere current flow, but the RTH resistance is not shown in this circuit. Even if this point is C, you cannot locate a point C in this circuit, because this is a new circuit. So you cannot show this 3 ampere current anywhere except this resistance. Now if you want to find out, so if you are locating 3 ampere current here, this will be wrong. The 3 ampere current will flow only in resistance. Now if you want to find out current in this 1 ohm resistance, you have 3 ampere current in this resistance. So the voltage drop across this resistance will be 3 into 2.2, that is 6.6 volt, and this is 10 volt. So the potential drop across this 1 ohm resistance is 10 minus 6.6, that is 3.3 volt. So the current here will be 3.4 ampere, and it is here 3 ampere. So 0.4 ampere current will go in the 4 ohm branch. In Thevenin equivalent circuit, we always calculate open circuit voltage across the terminal about which we have to transform the circuit. Now suppose in this question only, if you are asked to find out the potential drop across this resistance, the 2.2 ohm resistance. Now if you are asked to find out the potential difference across this resistance, it means that the resistance is physically connected in the circuit. Now what happens? Transform this circuit in Thevenin equivalent circuit to find open circuit voltage. So what I want to say here is, the open circuit voltage is, if you remove it, if you remove this 2.2 ohm resistance, then the voltage across these two terminals is open circuit voltage. And suppose if it is load, so we will say it, this is no load voltage, no load voltage, and but you are asked to find out the resistance across the voltage across 2.2 ohm resistance when it is physically connected. So that voltage across it 2.2 ohm you are asked to find out. So I want to say here is this resistance, this is on load resistance, this is on load voltage, these two voltages are not same. This is very easily visible in the Thevenin equivalent circuit. Suppose we make Thevenin equivalent circuit about the point A and B. Here we will have VTH, RTH and the point A and B. So if you open circuit it means you are not connecting any resistance, any load between point A and B. The point A and B are open circuited. So if you open circuit, the potential difference here will be VTH only, because it is open circuited, no current can flow in RTH, so there will be no voltage drop, so the output voltage will be VTH. Now if you are connecting a resistance here, let us say 2.2 ohm only, a current will flow here, the amount of current will be VTH divided by RTH plus 2.2 ohm. That does not matter whatever is the value of current, but this current will be non-zero if a load resistance is connected here, and if a current is flowing, there will be a voltage drop across the resistance RTH. So obviously now the output voltage, that will be called on load voltage when a load is connected. The on load voltage, this will be VTH minus the voltage drop across RTH. So from this equation we can, this is easily visible that on load voltage is different than open circuited voltage and always less than open circuited voltage. So if you are asked to find out voltage across it and you are open circuited, and you are writing your answer as the open circuit voltage, that will be wrong. Just like Thevenin theorem, in Norton's theorem, a circuit can be represented as, if we want to make Norton's equivalent circuit about the load terminal, about the terminal A and B, the inside part of A and B, or suppose there is no element connected between these 2 points. So if this point is A, this point is also A, this point is also B. So if we want to find out the Norton's equivalent of this circuit, Norton's equivalent left to the point of A and B, so the part of circuit which is right to the point of A and B will be same. This is A, this is B, and this is load resistance, and left to this circuit, left to terminal A and B, there will be a Norton's equivalent circuit. And in Norton's equivalent circuit we have a current source, this is Norton's current or short circuit current. Just like Thevenin equivalent voltage is open circuited voltage about terminal A and B, here the Norton's equivalent current is short circuited current. If we short circuit these two terminals, this short circuit current about terminal A and B, and RTH is same as Thevenin equivalent resistance, but RTH is connected in parallel here. While studying Thevenin theorem, we took all the example of DC, but Thevenin equivalent theorem is equally applicable in AC circuit also. So in Norton's equivalent theorem, I will take general AC current source, and instead of RTH we will take ZTH, and this is ZL. Norton's equivalent theorem, Thevenin theorem, superposition theorem, these all are equally applicable in case of AC also. So we will study Norton's theorem by taking AC current source. Instead of RTH we will take ZTH, instead of RL we will take ZL. So now if we want to find out current in ZL, here IZL will be, it will supply ISC, and there will be a current division. So IZL will be current division rule, ISC into ZTH divided by ZTH plus ZL. This will be the load current. We will take the same example as we took in case of Thevenin theorem, and we will find out the amount of current using Norton's theorem, and we will verify it. This is 10 volt, this is 1 ohm resistance, this is 2.2 ohm load resistance, and this is 4 ohm, and this is 5 volt. Now we will find voltage across AP and the current through 2.2 ohm resistance using Norton's theorem. So we will find out the Norton's equivalent circuit about terminal A and B. So the inside part of A and B will remain unchanged. This is 2.2 ohm, and in the remaining circuit, in the new circuit or in the transformed circuit, we will have a Norton's equivalent current source. This is ISC and this is RTH. So RTH we already calculated in the previous example. This is 0.8 ohm, and ISC is short circuited current about this terminal. Just like we open circuited in case of Thevenin equivalent circuit, we will short circuit it, and we will try to find out this current, the short circuit current ISC. And we will run this circuit and we will try to find out ISC. Now if these two points are short circuited, no current can flow in 2.2 ohm resistance. So and if the 2 points are short circuited, the voltage across 1 ohm resistance, this is equal to 10 volt. This point is connected to positive terminal, and through this short path the another point is connected to negative terminal of voltage. So the current in 1 ohm resistance will be voltage across 1 ohm resistance, that is 10 volt divided by 1. This is 10 ampere. Now again the question is, we have to show where will you show this 10 ampere current? Can you show 10 ampere current here? This will be wrong. You cannot show 10 ampere current here, because the formula is the current in resistance equal to voltage across resistance divided by the value of resistance. So this is current in resistance. So you have to show this 10 ampere current only in resistance. So we will show here 10 ampere current will flow through 1 ohm resistance. Similarly, the voltage across 4 ohm resistance is 5 volt. So current in 4 ohm resistance will be 5 divided by 4. This is 1.25 ampere. So we will show 1.25 ampere will flow through 4 ohm resistance. Now no current can go in this branch because it is short circuited. 10 ampere is coming from here and 1.25 is coming from here. So in this branch ISC will be 10 plus 1.25, that is 11.25 ampere. So this current is 11.25. So current in 2.2 ohm branches, ISC, which is 11.25 into 0.8 divided by 0.8 plus 2.2. So this is 11.25 into 0.8 divided by 3. This is 3 ampere. While studying Thevenin equivalent circuit, we saw that the open circuit voltage across AB, the no load voltage across AB is not same as the on load voltage across AB. Similarly, if you are asked to find out the current through AB in this circuit when the 2.2 ohm is present, that will be current IAB, and if you are just finding out short circuit current, it means that these 2 points are short circuited, then the current will be called ISC, and you are writing it as your answer. That answer will be wrong, because ISC is the short circuit current. If you short circuit it, then the total current will flow through this load. So, this is short circuit current. Now, if you are connecting a resistance here, it is obvious that some part of ISC will flow through 0.8 ohm resistance. So, the load resistance will obviously be less than ISC, and that is calculated by this formula. So, the load current is not equal to ISC. In source transformation, suppose this is a voltage source and an impedance. If these two are connected in series about a terminal A and B, this can be represented as a current source in parallel with the same amount of resistance Z1 or same amount of impedance and the point A and B. I am saying that same amount of Z. I am not saying that this Z and Z are same. I am not saying same Z, the same amount of Z. The value of impedance here and the value of impedance here will be same, yet the two impedances are not same. With the help of numerical, I will show what I want to convey here, that how these two, or with the help of numerical we will see that these two impedances are not same, yet their values are same. The voltage source transformation says that if a voltage source and impedance, they are connected in series about terminal A and B, then it can be represented as a current source and same amount of impedance connected in parallel about the same terminal A and B, and the magnitude of current will be, the I will be V divided by Z. Similarly, if a current source and impedance, they are connected in parallel with respect to a point A and B, they can be transformed into a voltage source and impedance connected in series. A voltage source and an impedance connected in series about the same point A and B. The amount of impedance will be same Z, the value of impedance will be same Z, but yet the two impedances are not same, and the voltage will be, V will be, here we divided it V by Z, here the voltage will be the current into the impedance, that is V by Z into Z. We are getting the same value because we are obtaining it from the same voltage source and impedance. This is V. So, this is source transformation. So, we will first do a numerical to show that how this can be used in the numerical problem. Before doing this example, we will do the example that we did in case of Thevenin theorem and Norton's theorem. We will apply source transformation. Suppose this point is A and this point is B. Left to the point of A and B, this 1 ohm and this 10 volt is connected in series. So we will apply source transformation here. So this can be, we are not using any transformation right to the point of A and B. So the circuit will remain unchanged. 2.2 ohm, this is 4 ohm, this is 5 volt. Now here we will have a current source, and the value of current source will be 10 divided by 1, that will be 10 ampere, and the same value of resistance, but not the same resistance. The same value of resistance will be connected here. Now this point is A and this point is B. Suppose this point is C and this point is D, and we are applying source transformation to the right of C and D. So now the left of C and D will be same, and in the right part we will apply the transformation. This current is 10 ampere. So this is 1 ohm. We are applying transformation right to the terminal of C and D. Then 2.2 ohm resistance is same. Since I have to find out the current in the 2.2 ohm resistance, so I have not involved this 2.2 ohm resistance in the transformation, because I have to keep it safe, because I have to, in the transformed circuit we have to find out the resistance in 2.2 ohm resistance. So we have applied source transformation left to 2.2 ohm resistance, right to 2.2 ohm resistance. This 2.2 ohm resistance is not involved in the transformation. So this 4 ohm resistance will be connected in parallel. The same amount of 4 ohm resistance is connected in parallel, and the amount of current will be 5 volt divided by 4, and the direction of current will be from negative to positive of the source. So the source voltage. So the direction of current will be upward. Here also the direction of current will be upward. This is 1.25 ampere. Now this looks, although the calculation looks difficult, but this is easy to calculate. These three resistances are connected in parallel. 10 ampere current will come from here, and 1.25 ampere from here. So I am again drawing this circuit, but that will look easy to solve. I am making it as 10 ampere. This is 1 ohm, this is 2.2, and this is 4, 1.25 ampere. Because these 3 points, there is no element connected between these 3 points, so these 3 points can be joined, these 3 points can be joined. So I have joined these points. Now suppose the voltage difference is V here. So the total incoming current at this node is 10 plus 1.25, that is 11.25. This is equal to total outgoing current in this branch, V by 1 plus V by 2.2 plus V by 4. So we can calculate V from here. 11.25 is equal to, this is 8.8. This way we will get current in 2.2 ohm resistance as 3 ampere. In this circuit, suppose we are applying source transformation. Suppose in this circuit, first we have to find out the current in this load resistance. RL equal to 10 ohm is given. So here we have to find out the current. Now, while applying source transformation or any transformation, we have to save this resistance. We don't have to involve this resistance into the transformation. Suppose we are trying to find out with the help of Thevenin equivalent circuit. So we will form a Thevenin equivalent circuit about point A and B, and the transformation will be made left to the terminal A and B, so that this resistance can be saved. So here we are applying source transformation. So if here we will apply source transformation left to this point, resistance is far away, so it is saved. The current will be 5 ampere and this 2 ohm resistance will be connected in parallel. Then again this the current will be 5 ampere, 2 ohm resistance is connected in parallel. For this 2 ohm I am connecting a 2 ohm resistance here. This is another 2 ohm resistance, and now here will be 3 volt and the rest circuit. Now these are in parallel, so this will make 1 ohm resistance. Again the 5 ampere current source is in parallel with 1 ohm resistance, so this can be transformed as, this is 1 ohm, 5 volt battery voltage source and 1 ohm resistance connected in series. So this can be transformed as, I am writing this point as C and D. This is C and D. So this will give us 5 volt and 1 ohm resistance in series, and here we have C terminal and D terminal. So we will make the rest circuit to the right of C and D terminal. Suppose this is 1 ohm, this is 1 ohm, this is 1 ohm, 2 ohm and 10 ohm, and this is 3 volt. The 5 volt and 3 volt, they are in series and both have tendency to flow the current in clockwise direction. So these two voltages will add up, so it will give us 8 volt voltage source. 1 ohm and 1 ohm are connected in series, so here we will have 2 ohm resistance, then 2 ohm, then a voltage source of 4 volt, and this 10 ohm resistance. Now again if we apply source transformation here, we will have 10 by 2 4 ampere current source, and a resistance of 2 ohm will be connected in parallel, and again this 2 ohm is connected here, and suppose this point is E and F. So here we will have point, this point is E and this point is F. These 2 ohm they are in parallel, so they will make 1 ohm resistance, and so instead of these 2 ohm resistances we will have 1 ohm resistance. Now again we will apply source transformation. This will give us 4 into 1 4 volt source and a resistance of 1 ohm which is connected in series, and then point E and point F, and after E and F we have 4 volt voltage source with opposite polarity and 10 ohm resistance. Now this resistance is still same. Now if we try to find out current in this resistance, the two voltage sources cancel each other, so here current will be 0. So in this solution we just have to make some circuit diagrams, or if you have enough practice, you can solve it very quickly using source transformation. Now I am going to discuss what can be mistaken while solving using source transformation. Suppose you are asked to find out current in this 4 ohm resistance, and you are solving it with the help of source transformation. So suppose you are applying a source transformation. This point is A, this point is B, right to point of A and B. Here you are applying source transformation. In order to have a voltage source and a resistance in series, so a voltage source, a resistance and a resistance will come in series. So all the voltage sources and resistances will be in series. The circuit will be very easy to solve. Now we will draw a circuit diagram, 10 volt and 1 ohm resistance. Here you have point A and point B. Now the voltage source will be of 1 into 4 volt voltage source and 4 ohm resistance. Now here I said that although the value of resistance is same, that is 4 ohm, yet the resistance, these two resistances are not same. Now you are asked to find out, this is the original circuit, current in this resistance, and suppose you assume that the two resistances are same and you are calculating the current in this 4 ohm resistance. Now here the current will be, here if you calculate current, this will be 10 minus 4 divided by 5, 1.2 ampere. And you will suppose you are saying the two resistances are same and you have already calculated current here is 1.2 ampere. So your answer is 1.2 ampere. Suppose your answer is 1.2 ampere. Now I am asking you to verify it. We are verifying it using KVL or KCL or conventional method. So we will apply a nodal analysis here. We will say that a 1 ampere of current is coming here. So incoming current here is, or this is an incoming current. Suppose this is outgoing current and this is also outgoing current. This voltage is V. So here the current will be V minus 10 divided by 1 plus, here the current will be V divided by 4. This is total outgoing current, and total incoming current is 1 ampere. So V plus V by 4 is equal to 11. So 5V is equal to 44, V is equal to 8.8 volt. If it is 8.8 volt, then current in 4 ohm resistance is V divided by 4, 8.8 divided by 4, this is 2.2 ampere. There is a mismatch in answer. So what was wrong here? The wrong part was you applied a source transformation right to the point of A and B. So, while applying transformation, if you are applying a transformation right to the point of A and B, no part of this circuit can be seen in the transformed circuit. Suppose here it is, all these circuit has been transformed. So, although suppose like this current source is not visible here, there is a new source, there is a new voltage source. Similarly, this 4 ohm resistance is not visible here, although this resistance has value resistance of 4 ohm only, but these two resistances are not same. So, overall conclusion is, if you are asked to find out the current in this 4 ohm resistance, and if you are finding current in this 4 ohm resistance and you are saying that this is your answer will be wrong. But even the source transformation can help you. You have applied source transformation to the right of point of A and B, but still the left part of the circuit is same. So, if you know the current in 1 ohm resistance, this 1 ohm resistance is saved here. So, here the current will be same. You have already calculated in this circuit, here the current is 1.2 ampere. So, now we will not say this 1.2 ampere current will not flow here, because that is a transformed part, but here 1.2 ampere is, this is correct, 1.2 ampere is correct. Now, there we will have 1.2 ampere current, and this point is A and B, and this point is A and B. This is transformed part, this part has been transformed, but this is a correct value, it is 1.2 ampere and this is 1 ampere. So, here the current will be 2.2 ampere as we calculated with the help of nodal analysis. So, this answer is wrong. So, I think now you would have understood what mistake you do not have to commit.